Hello and welcome to Oh the Horror. I'm Fedora, and last time we looked at one of the worst entries the official Amityville series had to offer. But let's dig a little deeper into that ancient Indian burial ground, because there are a lot of small independent companies who figured that they could use the name to sell their crappy scripts as well.
And on that note, today's movie is brought to us by the appropriately named Scrap Films, whose only other credit besides this is something called Ouija Geist.
So, snuggle into your front row seats as we pull up the curtain on this 2015 piece of shit. Amityville Playhouse.
Windows Movie Maker presents. So this movie starts, and it's already shoving its political bias down our throats. I hear Mayor Saunders' first plan is to build a wall between Amityville and Copaig and make them pay for it. We follow a car belonging to the Amityville surveyors as they arrive at a seemingly abandoned movie theatre, no doubt because The Mummy is still playing. The worker tries to radio his superiors because he thinks someone may have broken into the theatre.
You better stop jerking around!
If my ears are to be believed, he was just turned into a baby by Donald Duck.
Cut over to the local high school, and we meet our heroine for this movie, Fawn, who it seems, during her conversation with the movie's director, has inherited that very same movie theatre from her recently deceased parents. And she decides to spend the weekend there with her boyfriend Kyle and a few others.
I still don't know why you want to spend the weekend in a shitty old theater.
Because I get to spend it with you.
I always wanted our first time having sex to be in a pile of broken glass and asbestos.
They enter the director's favourite angle in the movie, and I guess the power is still running despite this place having been abandoned for 5 years.
Wow, it's so quiet.
Yeah. It's empty.
And then the rest of their group arrives, and now that everybody's here, it seems like a good time to really get a feel for everybody's acting skills, and of course the writing talent behind this movie.
Look, we've been wandering around and around here, looking for the door, but it's all boarded up out there. Why does suspecting someone of being gay make me a douche?
Because, Kyle, you use it as an insult, a term of abuse.
Thank God he's gone. I couldn't get a word in.
Okay, let's look at something else. The movie's director, who's playing Fawn's teacher, Mr. Stewart, heads to the local library in order to look up some history on the theatre for her.
Look, I'm sorry, I'm making some notes about Amityville's history and I need some more in-depth information about the town's buildings.
Well, I don't think we have anything further along those lines, so I would suggest that maybe you go to the Amityville library.
So what the hell is this place supposed to be then? A pet shop? Then back with these people, who are splitting up into groups in order to explore the theatre.
Okay, Fred, do you want to come with Daphne?
Hey, I'm not the geeky one.
Velma, the one with the glasses.
And who does that make you?
Shaggy, I guess.
Hey, I guess that makes you Scooby.
Oh my god! Shut up!
They finally start walking around, and quickly catch a glimpse of some kind of shadow, which I guess turns out to be this goth homeless girl. And now they're starting a 6-minute conversation about her past, and wow, do I not care. If things haven't been quite exciting enough already, let's see what Mr. Stewart is up to. What? What's going on?
Behave. Celia's a respected scientist.
Her living with her nephew and his wife.
What's so weird about that?
She spends Monday to Fridays telling her students that life took billions of years to evolve, and he spends his Sundays telling his congregation that it took 7 days.
What?
Why is a flashback of the teacher going into a pub in England and gossiping relevant to what's happening?
Tell you what, I'll ask.
Holy God, I'm not even half an hour in yet and I'm already tempted to say this is one of the worst movies I've ever reviewed. Every scene has either some of the most cancerous acting I've ever experienced, or scenes that are just so blindingly unnecessary. Why is this here?
Do you think anyone ever jumped?
Why would anyone want to jump?
You know, if they were like depressed or had been in a fight with their girlfriend or something.
Well, maybe, but Why would anyone buy a ticket just to haul their ass up here and then jump off? You could just shoot yourself and save $5.
Don't fucking tempt me.
They actually do see something apparently jump off the balcony, and upon running down to check, the figure has teleported back up and laughs as she runs away.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, thanks for that, dude. Kyle's brother Jev introduces Tumblr McAngsty to the rest of the group, and yeah, I know I keep harking on about the acting, but can I just play this part after Kyle makes fun of the girl in front of him?
Quit it, Kyle!
You can't fake that kind of hilariously bad. In fact, I will honestly send $10 to someone who will do a remix of this part. It's sure as fuck the only smile I'm ever gonna get associated with this garbage.
Quit it, Kyle!
A little while later, our heroes try to leave the theatre in order to get some cell phone signal, only to find the door is mysteriously locked. And this causes them all to panic wildly. Ah yes, an old wooden door, truly the most impenetrable of obstacles.
What about windows?
It's a theater. Theaters don't have windows.
But since we live in fucking stupid land, oh, there's that angle again, they all head down into the basement to look for the entrance that the homeless girl Wendy used to get in. Turns out it's blocked too. And also something weird seems to be going on with Jev ever since the upstairs door.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Buried. No light. No air. We're dying! Sealed in! We're dying!
It's dead. My career is dead. I'll never work again. I'm sorry, Dad.
I've never anticipated a possessed murder rampage so much in my life. Everyone regroups in the studio changing rooms because we're not even really making an effort anymore. And after all that looking around, what's their next move?
Let's take another look around.
Great. I would honestly rather watch the Doctor Who extra here have a flashback of the time he grabbed some milk from the grocery store. While exploring again, Fawn finds herself in the main part of the theatre, surrounded by some ghosts who may need their batteries changed soon. And, shit, I'll be damned. They actually managed to have a very brief moment of creepiness here. So let's instantly ruin that by allowing these idiots to talk again.
The stage and everywhere was filled with people, all pointing at me and screaming.
Tough crowd, hey?
Yeah, I'm sure a viewing audience looking pissed and leaving their seats was a pretty common sight during this movie's brief cinematic run. Time for another flashback. This time of Fawn arguing with her parents while talking to the girls about how they died. And, again, a very rare moment where I feel something other than outright disgust. Sure, one-time actress Monèle LeStrat may be incapable of moving her face more than a centimetre, but she's definitely not the worst actor in the film. So how are they going to ruin this?
What have you got there?
It's a Ouija board.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
And why is this teacher so damned committed to finding out information about the theatre? I know he said he would help her, but he has spent hours, driven all over the place, thrown money away, and why? He doesn't know shit! All that's happened is that he couldn't find anything in the library from earlier. My life is constant suffering. If I don't keep myself 100% distracted at all times, I may just end it all. Whoa, geez, dude, relax. You're putting a downer on the whole video here. Everyone wakes up the next morning. Yep, they never found a way out. Only to find that Jev has gone missing during the night. So they all split up again and go looking for him, and instantly find him. Riveting. Okay, so he's clearly becoming more and more possessed, which is fine. But at an hour and 15 minutes in, I sure wouldn't mind him doing something about now. Then that really whiny bitch goes missing next, so they go looking for her. But for the third time in the movie, yeah, I cut one out. We're interrupted by that same flashback at the pub, and this time they're talking about the colonization of America?
Native American cultures have a very rich history, and they have a good deal of what you call breeding.
That was until we took civilization to them.
I wouldn't call stealing their land and corrupting their culture civilizing.
What is this? Am I watching a horror movie or an episode of History of the World? What is this shit?
But then we've all got our demons, haven't we?
Ah, she said the word demon. Now it makes perfect sense. I'm not kidding. 20 minutes worth of flashbacks, and the entire point was just for somebody to say the word demon. Fuck you, scrap films.
Steven Spielberg makes the discovery that a lot of people in Amityville tend to die on November 30th, going back decades due to some demonic cultist ritual the whole town is in on, which they keep records of, in a public library. And that causes him to run in panic to the theatre. Meanwhile, inside, they finally think to try to break the door down. Yay, we're learning. But they leave Fawn with the now completely possessed Jev, who is going through puberty again. And she gets herself kidnapped. Meanwhile, Stuart brings his research to Mr. Mayor Saunders himself, who reads his lines like he's some kind of soap opera villain.
A fascinating theory, Mr. Stewart.
So you know about all this?
Know about it. I administer it. I have to protect the greater good. Or in this case, the greater evil.
And by the way, Mr. Stewart, I'm pregnant.
So yeah, the townspeople sacrifice 6 people to the demons every year to keep them sated so they don't come out into the town. And the mayor has been keeping this going for years. Well, I guess with this information learnt, that's the end of Mr. Stewart.
I cannot make amends for this town's conformity to evil.
Wow, this guy who just gave a whole speech about the greater good and serving his demon masters was sure won over by Mr. Stewart's whole "come on" argument.
Mayor Heelturn gives Stewart a magical key that can open any door in Amityville. Yeah, okay, I'll buy it. Which he uses to get inside the theatre, where after a rather lengthy walk around, he finds Fawn and the demon-possessed students. Stewie thinks the demons are powerless without the 6 people to sacrifice, which he and Fawn would only make 5. But then our special guest 6th arrives, the Surveyor from the beginning of the film.
What a twist!
But then the demons just disappear. So our heroes run for the exit, but it looks like Fawn was possessed, and then the movie just ends.
I was possessed by a demon once, but even that felt like having less evil in me than the memories of this trash in my brain. And that was Amityville Playhouse.
Good Lord! This was a bad one. Forget the completely meaningless use of the Amityville title despite having less than nothing to do with it. I mean, we've seen that before. But the absolute garbage it was allowed to be attached to is just insulting to the name. Possibly the worst acting I've ever seen on this show. No likable characters out of any of them. A story with so many plot holes, it's a joke. I mean, a town sacrificing thousands of people over centuries, and nobody outside said town noticed except for this doofus? And when we weren't subjected to that, we had to deal with all the padding. So much padding. And it led to absolutely nothing. Fuck this movie and everyone involved in it.
And that's all from me for tonight, so I'm Fedora, this is Oh the Horror, save a screen for me, and we'll see you next time.